Hi everybody, I wanted to make a really good bone broth soup. So I have some bones here that I want to put inside my broth. These are cow feet. I'm just going to drop some cow feet. They're already washed and clean. Just some cow feet in there. I hope I have enough room. So I want a good broth because I want to pair it up with some miso soup. So this is the perfect blend. That was a cow foot, but this wasn't a cow foot. This is a pig foot. And when I say foot, I mean literally all the way up to the shin. Not chin and face, shin before the knee. So I have more pieces of those over here. Like I said, this is like pork. Okay, so it's really good bone broth. You see the bone there? See that bone? That's going to be good. And that meat is going to be awesome. So I have that. See? Beautiful. Nice pieces of pork with the bones. That's all I want, the bone. And here's a piece that fell off. That's nice. I hope the water doesn't go overflow on me. Don't overflow. I'm going to have to take some out. Okay, what I have here is an oxtail. A piece of an oxtail that's not going to be enough meat, but the flavor, it's packed with flavor. So that's a piece of oxtail. Just a little tip that probably doesn't have a lot of meat, hardly any meat, but it does have a lot of flavor. So I put a piece of oxtail in there. And I have these two little pieces of chicken. Like I said, I'm just going for the broth. So I have these two little, like the chicken wings. Well, I have the leg part. And if you're sensitive, look away, because I will be putting some chicken feet, because it's good for broth. So there we go. Now I'm going to have to go and get my cup because I might have done a little too much. Alright, I will add this back in there. Trust me, when it starts to go down a little bit, I'm just going to leave it right here and I'm going to add it to it. So now that I have all that incorporated in there, where's my spoon? I lost my spoon. Alright, sorry guys. I know I have it tiny. Alright, never mind. I have plenty. I'm just going to give this a little mix right here. See? This is all my bones that I'm using, which I want the broth. So I have cow, pig, and chicken in here. All those bones. So I also have some garlic, like 3 cloves of garlic, and all these little onion sprouts that I cut up before. So I'm going to throw all that in there. I'm going to watch this very carefully that it doesn't boil over, but I'm going to add some pepper to it. I want a nice bone broth. And this is going to be really good. I'm going to cook this for like 2 hours. First I'll start off at medium and then I'll lower it down. And I'll come in with some salt. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. It'll bring out all the flavors. So now I just have to wait for this to come to a full boil, which is going to take at least like 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes for that to come to a boil. And I have to watch it that it doesn't overspill. So I'll be back. This is just starting to come to a boil. You could see that it's just starting to, because it has all this little foam on top, which I really don't like. I'm going to put it right on this little dish over here on the side. But it has come to a boil. I'm just going to remove this foam. I'm using the wrong spoon for it, yes. I'm definitely. But I was mixing the bones before. I need another spoon. But this is coming to a boil. I'll get another spoon and do it again. All my bones have finally come to a boil. I'm waiting for it to come to a good boil so I could lower the heat a little bit and then let that finish cooking. It's come to a boil. This is the right spoon right here. Oh, you don't want to get the onions. Be careful. Don't get the onions. That's the risk you take It's going to continue to make more foam, but if you can get the majority out of it, it's good. See, the majority is almost... I wanted to get it because I wanted to show you guys that I didn't even put any oil, if you could see right here. See that? That's why I didn't add any oil to that, because that's going to release so much oil. It's going to release it all into the broth. And I want that. I don't want that oil to go away. I want it to stay nice in the broth. But whenever you see this little thing here, I get just compelled to do it. I am compelled. Alright, that's good enough. Like I said, it's going to keep doing that. It's going to keep foaming up a little bit until, you know, you don't see the foam anymore. But this is a good stage right now. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to take it and lower it all the way down where it's like barely boiling. You want to like stop the boiling, the rapid boiling, and do like a slow simmer. Just like that. So we're slow simmering this. We're gonna slow simmer for about an hour, 2 hours, because this has a lot of flavors to release in all those bones. See? Alright, so now that it's really, really low and it's simmering, that's safe to cover it. If you have it any more than that, then you're gonna risk all the broth coming out and it spilling over. But this is all the foam that I collected from there, and I'm just gonna get rid of this. Get rid of this, and I'm gonna let this simmer. Like I said, see, not boiling over, it's just a slow simmer. So I could even use just a little tad more, not much, just a little tad, so you could see a couple of little bubbles everywhere. All right, that's good now. Now I'm gonna shut this off, or I'm gonna cover this up, and I'm gonna let that cook for like 2 hours. I'll check it in an hour to see what it is. All right, bye guys, I'll show you later. Hi everybody, I'm back. Look at my soup. This soup, I just put it to a rapid boil. I don't know why. It's boiling. It shouldn't have been boiling that high. Now, everything is done in here. Look at this soup. Look at this. This is all bone broth. And I threw an onion in there. Like, I cut it in half and I left some of these parts in there because they said that when you boil the skin, that has a lot of nutrients in it. So I just boiled it up, and let me tell you, everything is ready. Like, this is the pork. The pork is ready. So ready, the pork. I'm just looking at this part right here, like the little tendons. They're still a little hard. And my chicken is done. And these little legs, these little feet are done. I can pluck out all the feet. Let me know if this laying down a little bit. I don't want it to burn. And like I said, I put the skins in there, but that's not a problem. You just take them right out. You don't have to leave them in your food. But I put out the meat. The meat I'll put in there. And the cow bones, they're not ready yet. This is pork. And this is more pork with a little piece of beef. I'll just take it out, no big deal. You can't eat it, it's too tough. But you could just take it out and put it to the side like I'm doing. And what else? Let me just finish taking out the rest of the stuff because the tendons are not ready, okay? The cow feet, they're still so hard, guys. Whatever is really soft and gelatinous, I'll take out, but the other stuff is not ready. That little piece of oxtail, I'll just leave it in there. Like I said, I'll just take out those little feet. And I'm just looking for all the other pieces. I don't seem to find any more except for this chunk of meat. And look, here's another chicken. I'm gonna take out the chicken. Another little foot. Okay, right here, this piece. This is this cow foot. Oh, here's another little piece of skin. But the bones are literally just falling right out of there. With the meat in there. The bone, I could just put it to the side. It's already done. And like I said, I'm just pulling out everything that's ready, guys. It made pretty much broth. Not a lot. It could have been more broth, but little pieces of meat in there. So that's it. Another piece of skin here. And I'll remove these pieces of meat. I'll remove that little tendon. I'll just leave it in there because the tendons are not soft enough. So I'm just going to let this cook up for about another hour. It's been so long, but like I said, the tendons are falling out, but they're not soft. I can't even penetrate it with the fork. So since they're not ready, I'm just going to leave them in there for a little while. I took out all the meat. All the meat is already here. Just take out some of the skins, but I'm going to put this meat to the side, and when the cow feet is ready, I'll just put it to the side also. Like I said, I'm just going to cover it right here. Leave it right there. I'm going to cover that, and like I said, I'm going to let these cow feet cook for another hour, but I am going to throw like 2 more cups of water real quick in that because I want more broth, and it really didn't get a lot of broth. Okay, so I added a little bit more broth, and I'm going to wait for all this to cook down because this is still hard, and by the time it cooks down, I won't have any broth left. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And over here, I have my bucket, and I'm doing some bread for tomorrow. I can eat it with my soup. So I got some bread there fermenting, and I'm going to let this boil up again. And this will be ready about in another hour, so I'll be back. Hi everybody, I'm back, and I'm ready to take out the rest of the cow feet that's already cooked. So I'm just going to put them in here because I want to make room for my broth. So right now I'm just taking out all this, guys. Whatever's left, that's how much broth, bone broth I made. And it has a lot of oil in it. But when I go tomorrow and I look in the refrigerator, all that's going to be solidified. And all I have to do is scrape it off. So I'm not worried about the oil. Right now I'm just getting all the bones out. And all those pieces of tendons in there. Some of them are so jelly and some of them didn't come out so jelly. But, okay, so that's all the meat, the cow feet, the pig, the chicken. That's all the meat that I got out of that, guys. That's a lot of meat. And that all I can eat it with a soup later on. But what I really wanted to do was, I really wanted to make this broth because I have some miso soup. And I wanted to have it with the miso soup. So right now I'm just going to take it and put it in my jar right here. And like I said, I'm not going to fill it up all the way so I can have room. So I could take out all the fat that's on the top. So right now I'm just pouring all my bone broth in my jar. And let it cool a little because you can see it's still hot. But look how dark it is outside. It's already past 8 o'clock. I've been boiling this bone broth for at least 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours boiling all those bones just to get this broth. So that's what it looked like. I think I dropped a piece of meat in there, but see, bone broth. Delicious, natural bone broth. So I'm just going to cover this and I'm going to put it to the side over here. And I'm going to take my meat, all the meat that I have, I'm just going to add a little bit of the water in there, the broth, just so my meat doesn't get too dry, or my tendons or that. So I still have my bread rising there, but I'm going to get another jar. I think I left a piece of meat in here. I'm going to get another jar, and I'm going to fill it with broth. Hold on. Alright guys, I'm back, and There's no more broth, just a little bit right there, which is hardly nothing. And this is what I got. I got 1 jar of bone broth, 2 jars of bone broth, and 3 jars of bone broth. Now these are excellent that you can mix them into recipes, or you can make some soup. Whatever you need to add water to something, you could replace it with this. I hope you like my video. I hope you follow my recipe, and I hope you make your own bone broth. I hope everybody has a blessed night. Good night.